Hey Soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're taking a look at a message from your past life that's meant to reach you right now. We're going to be taking a look at how your past life managed to send this message to you right now, as well as why it's so important. I'm so excited about today's reading. It's just an inspiration that I got and I'm following it. If you, by the way, prefer to pick your piles using your zodiac signs, you will find a timestamp for that down in the description box. If you prefer for Spirit to pick your pile today, you will also find a timestamp for that down in the description box. Otherwise, let's see the cards that we got for today's reading. For pile number 1, you've got the Cherry Laurel. For pile number 2, you've got the Thorn Apple. Actually, let's put them up there. And for pile number 3, you've got the Cannabis. If you prefer to pick your piles using your crystals, then let me add these right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, you've got the Bloodstone. For pile number 2, you've got the Malakite. And for pile number 3, you've got the green moss agate in the shape of a star. So take a look at which one of these 3 piles you're the most drawn to, and this will be the pile for you here today. In case you feel drawn to more than one pile, maybe even all of the piles, trust your intuition. It might be your same past self sending you several messages that you're meant to hear if you're drawn to it, or it could be another past life sending you another message. That would be so cool. I would say trust your intuition. If you're drawn to something, listen to the message. And once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your timestamps, which will take you straight to your readings. And please note that in a moment, I will be assigning different zodiac signs to each pile. If this is something that you do not prefer, please pause the video and take as much time as you need. But if you prefer to pick your piles using your zodiac signs, welcome. This section has been created specifically for you so that you can do just that. And after the shuffling, I will be drawing out 4 signs for each pile. Right, so these will be the signs for pile number 1. These will be the signs for pile number 2. And these will be the signs for pile number 3. All right, so for pile number 1, your signs are Scorpio, Aries, Pisces, as well as Libra. And for pile number 2, your signs are Aquarius, Cancer, Virgo, as well as Sagittarius. For pile number 3, your signs are Leo, Capricorn, Taurus, as well as Gemini. So my dear soul family, these are the zodiac signs and their association to each of the piles in today's reading. Please feel free to pick your pile or piles using your sun, moon, or rising. I highly recommend you check out the three. Alternatively, if you of course prefer to pick your piles using any other placements in your charts, please feel free to do that. In your chart, please feel free to do that. And once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box, which will take you straight to your readings. And please note that the next section is all about spirit picking your pile. If this is something that you would like to try out today, please stick around. And if this is something that you do not prefer, please pause the video and take as much time as you need. But if you prefer for spirit to pick your pile, welcome. This section has been created specifically for you. And what I do every time is that I assign a different tarot card to each pile. The magician will be presenting pile number 1, the high priestess pile number 2, and the empress pile number 3. I shuffle your cards until one of them draws my attention, and then this one, and then I will know that it is your chosen pile. Sometimes I'm meant to pick up a card and it skips, and I know that it's the card. Sometimes I'm supposed to pass on a card or pull it and it doesn't happen, and I know right away. So your chosen pile today by spirit, my dear soul family, is pile number 3. So these were the different ways in which you can pick your pile today. I truly hope you've enjoyed them and that they brought you the clarity that you need to find your pile. And once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box, which will take you straight to your readings. Also note that throughout the reading itself, the readings themselves, I do notice some similarities and synchronicities specifically sometimes between a pile and another, like the same card, oracle card, for example, pops up in another card. I notice a specific picture that repeats itself from one pile to another, and I always make sure to show you these synchronicities. And I always advise you guys, in case you were also drawn or feel drawn to that other pile, then you can watch it. If you're not drawn to it, then obviously it may not be your pile. If you don't feel like that resonates with you, then of course don't watch the pile. But I like to show you the magic. I like to show you the synchronicities that I myself marvel at. If that resonates with you, then please follow the guidance. If not, please don't. Okay, sending you guys so much love, and I will see you in your readings. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. Today, we're taking a look at a message from your past life that's meant to reach you right now. Oh, well, that's an extra card in this deck. I don't know. I'm just going to keep it, right? Dear friends. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to keep that here. I don't know why, but it's meant to come out. I always take that card out. Looks like I forgot it this time. Right, so back to the topic, we're going to take a look at a message from your past life that's meant to reach you right now. And we are also going to dive into, let's go again, there. How did your past life self manage to send you this message today, as well as why is it so important for them? Why is that message so important for you to receive now? So these are the intentions of the reading today. If you're interested, by the way, in knowing the names of any of the decks that I use, you'll find that I always list them below for you guys. But very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the beautiful Bloodstone in the shape of a cube. And your significator card is the Cherry Laurel with the keyword Peacekeeper. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, wow, thanks. Then there's a collaboration here. I feel like your past self is collaborating with someone to send you this message. So yeah, interesting. Dear friends, I think your past self had friends that are helping, like maybe a witch or an oracle, I don't know, So, but that's what I'm picking up so far. But anyways, back to the pile. We'll get back to that in a moment. If you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Scorpio, Aries, Pisces, and Libra. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their piles as well. Okay, so let's get straight into it. I'm so excited about today's reading. Let's start with this one. So this is what your card looks like. And you can see again, 3 spiritual souls. 3 spiritual souls. The three of Pentacles. I'll get it in a moment. And it says, dear friends. Very interesting. On the other side of the card, it says, when you hear an opinion and believe it, you make an agreement and it becomes part of your belief system. The only thing that can break this agreement is to make a new one, based on truth. Only the truth has the power to set you free. Wow. Looks like your past self dabbled a lot in spirituality, was so knowledgeable, found a lot of truths, wants to pass something on to you, and we'll find why. But it seems like it's from the knowledge that they've learned. It makes me really think, if your past self had so much access to all of this knowledge, wouldn't you think that your past self wouldn't need to reincarnate, for example? Just a thought, but we'll find out. So here we've got the creator of this deck, or the book itself. The deck is based on the book. So the 4 agreements. The author says, I've written these cards to offer you a simple yet powerful code of conduct for attaining personal freedom and true happiness. There are 12 chords corresponding to each of the 4 agreements. 1, be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally. 3, don't make assumptions. And 4, always do your best. These cards will help you transform your life as you recover the awareness and wisdom of your authentic self. With love, Don Miguel. I think it's pronounced Ruiz, I think. But I know it's Don Miguel. All right, let me bring your 3 of Pentacles back and take a look at the rest of your oracle cards. Okay, I think there's significance of the 3 of Pentacles falling, especially when I was wondering if these 3 people, or this, I think it's 3 because we have specifically 3 here, group of people or 3 people, dear friends here, who were so knowledgeable. How come they didn't transcend? Unless my information is not complete here about transcendence. But there's something about the fall of the 3 of Pentacles here. Something happened, perhaps. Let's see. Right, so let's take a look at the rest of your oracle cards. You've got awe. Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm getting a lot of ideas, but I'm just going to wait. All right. You've got... This picture looks like a princess who's half octopus and is trying to capture someone. You know what this reminds me of? It's crazy. You know how they say a soul can house many lives at the same time? One soul, many bodies, many lives at the same time. And something here is running. Someone here is running. So getting some ideas, but I'm sure this reading is going to be so interesting. Let's wait and see. You've got here break. Like part of yourself broke or something. A split happened or something. Very interesting. I think we're going to be learning a lot from this reading. So anyways, here with the break, we've got the keywords step back, time out, silence, pause, reflection, interruption. I got an idea. It's a crazy one. It's a very crazy one. You know how your past, now that I'm getting this idea, no, I'm not going to let it affect the other piles, but I just understood something. You're going to think this is so crazy. You know how time is linear, is not linear. It's like everything is happening at the same time. Yes. Do you think you caught that? I think your past self right now from another life, right now is also alive. See, it's all housed, all connected. Oh my God. And is like this specific one, the specific past life has gotten access to so much knowledge and is somehow gaining access not just to you, but to many of its lives at the same time, giving it with the crown chakra wisdom to help them, like to help them with something. So I'm getting the idea that, like, let's say these friends, these spiritual people who got access to this knowledge, maybe they're in meditation mode right now, who knows? They could be dealing or targeting, healing, perhaps some issues, like 4 issues at the same time that the soul is trying to transcend. And so they're dealing in parallel with these specific lives that are dealing with this. And then when they heal that, they go to another group of things or 4 other things and so on. Crazy, but this is what I'm picking up. What an awesome group. Wow. Okay, so that's what's going on here. And there's something about break, step back, time out, silence. Yeah, they're saving several lives from continuing to have more splits or something. We'll find out the break, the split, because you can see one of them is splitting out. I'm not saying splitting out of the soul, but continuing to split, like split ends, for example. It's still part of the hair, but it's a split end. Yeah, I hope I'm making sense, but I feel like you understand what I'm trying to say here. They're trying to prevent a break or a split from happening. They're trying to heal something. Them and a group of other highly spiritual people at their time who have gotten access, special access to do that type of work. High consciousness, passive, gaining access maybe even to the Akashic records and being able to access other lives of themselves at the same time. So this is happening right now. Wow. I knew this topic was going to put me in awe. And speaking of awe, that's what you have here. Maybe that's the state as I'm looking at your reading, I'm supposed to pick up so that I deliver to you, because that's an important part of your message from your past life self. So you have the 8 of Wands, the 3 of Swords, the Temperance card. That's definitely a message of healing. Temperance, 3 of Swords, which is pain, and 8 of Wands, something about right away. They want to show you how you can heal a lot of pain right away, right now. Okay, so how are you supposed to do that, and why is that so important? I'm sure I know why it's important, obviously, that you heal pain, but let's just allow them to show us. Allow your past self to show us. So you've got the Page of Swords, the 4 of Wands, the Hanged Man. Body hanging makes me feel like your past self is saying, don't let the restrictions of your body restrict your soul or restrict your healing, or actually with the Four of Wands, restrict your growth, restrict your process of elevation, right? You've got the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm just going to put it here. And the Queen of Swords. Right. So what are we seeing here? Look, I'm about to tell you something, but I kindly ask you to apply it only as you consult your doctor or physician or any expert that has a license and expertise to tell you whether this is right for you or not. You know what I mean. So what am I seeing your past self saying? There's something about with the Hanged Man and the Five of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords shows that in order to find the clarity needed to heal something fast, which is so important. It's an important message that is meant to reach you right now, because if you don't take care of this, just like a split end, it could lead to further breakage, right? Split of the self. And the split could lead on to one life after the other, and so on. It will prolong the process of transcendence and healing and growth and all of that. It also shows that it's gonna be so good to heal now, because you can experience in this lifetime the beautiful feeling of awe. And that comes with the opposite of breakage: wholeness, oneness, the shadow and the light coming together. So your past self right now is saying, the more you give to the body, whether it's responding to its emotions, its triggers, its wants and desires and its needs, you stay stuck and you continue on this process of breakage and split, which causes more pain. Again, Eight of Wands, it increases your pain, causes more pain, causes more suffering. And so it could be momentarily convenient, but it will lead to more pain later on. So you also have a tool, just like it is going to quickly continue to create breakage, you also have a tool to reverse it, to do the opposite. And that's to quickly heal this pain and to live in awe. And their guidance is that you want more mental clarity to do that, to connect to the crown chakra and gain more guidance, which is something that no one can take from you, to connect to consciousness, right? And that is and this is why I'm saying I highly recommend you consult an expert to see how you can do that. But there's the guidance of, with the Five of Pentacles, lack. It's almost like, I don't want to, putting the body in lack. So that translates, in my opinion, to, for example, things like fasting, right? So perhaps you can consult an expert how you can fast. Maybe even, dare I say, if this is healthy for you, if your doctor agrees and everything, maybe even like for days, not just intermittent. So there's the guidance of limiting the body's power over you. And that's not just with food, but anything materialistic that they need, responding to emotions. You want to show the body who's boss here with the Queen of Swords. You want to reverse this role. So yes, you're allowed to feel emotions, but you're guided not to continue to respond to them. You want to observe, simply observe them, you know? Simply observe these emotions, but Queen of Swords is not in her feels. So you want to look at the emotions, acknowledge that they're there, say, hey, hello, welcome, but I'm not interacting with you. You can be there as long as you need to be, but I will be in a state of consciousness. I will not interact with you. So this is more like the more you invest time into things like that, to take control back over your body than rather than on the other way around, the faster and the most efficient way you can heal. So the body wants to go out, have fun. I'm not saying don't go out and have fun. Oh my God, definitely not saying that. In fact, you're going through this healing process so that you can be out in the world and having fun and enjoying your life from now onwards until forever. And so your past self is saying you want to do more things like meditation. The body wants to get its hit of dopamine. It wants to do this. It wants to do that. You want to discipline yourself to have the time, for example, to meditate. You want to discipline yourself to have to give your body the time not to eat so that it too can heal itself. You want to discipline yourself not to follow negative thoughts and limiting beliefs or emotions that debilitate you, and so on and so forth. I think you can see what I'm seeing here. You want to continue to do the right thing. And whether these are three friends speaking to you, doing the same thing at the same time, or simply your past self who's so knowledgeable and is tackling three lifetimes at the same time, giving them the same advice, because sending this message to three lifetimes and having this work done now at the same time obviously will lead to a strong state of healing. So you don't want one of you, in any case, if you do it and one other life doesn't do it, it won't matter. You will grow. But the three arms working together will have a profound effect on the three of you that you three will feel at the same time. Maybe one of the lives is your past self talking, and it's asking you to join in, and maybe another life to join in. Your past self is saying from its place now that it has learned this knowledge with the Page of Swords. It acquired this knowledge. And you see the paper around the wand, and it's sending it to you. It acquired this knowledge. It was able to gain access to you. If it wasn't through this reading that you're watching right now, it was going to send it another way, maybe through a program that you were tuning in to on your television, or even through a conversation with someone. They're saying they know how to send it to you. Don't worry about the medium. They are sending this message to you. And they're saying you can heal these pains that you're going through and the weakness and anything that debilitates you fast. That's the main message. You can do it fast. And you want to be mindful that if you don't, the opposite will happen. More pain will happen quickly. And long story short, what it has learned, it's that the body is what's really in resistance and standing in the way of this transcendence and this growth. Whether you realize it or not. And it must be in this starvation mode. Again, I'm not an expert, guys. I'm just a tarot reader. I think I've given this disclaimer enough. In of anything, all the materials that it needs, following the emotions, following the dopamine, following the food, following its pleasure. There's a time where you want to take a good chunk of time every once in a while to stop all of these things, because it might look like it is extreme, but you will not know what all means and how beautiful it is on the other side if you do not stop the limited pleasure or the tiny pleasures that you get now. Sometimes there are things that are far more profound on the other side. It's exactly like even in our concept of everyday life. Sometimes we don't want to do our homework, for example, and we think it's, oh no, that's a lot of pain. Are you crazy? Of course we shouldn't put ourselves into this pain. But when you do your homework, you find the pleasure of being more knowledgeable, understand something profound that makes you are able to keep up in class. And so class forever is not such a big painful lesson anymore. You get to keep up and enjoy what you're learning. You get to succeed, and that feels such great pleasure, more than the pleasure that one would get momentarily. You get to get in touch with your own intelligence and feel smart. You get to be able to learn other things in life just because you've understood that one concept in your homework. You get to go around, I've learned this in my class. This means this means that, and you get to enjoy taking better decisions. You get to enjoy how your mind's opening up, this, that, and the other. All I'm trying to say is sometimes when we can't look beyond something, we think that it's so bad. And sometimes when we do get into it, we realize it's not that bad. Not only that, but we realize that there's so much pleasure that we wouldn't have otherwise understood had we not gotten into it. Just like exercising. You drag your feet to begin exercising and you're like, oh, I hate exercising. Then when you exercise, you feel so good. You get this surge of such positive pleasure, especially when you're done. And you feel like you can tackle the world. You can tackle your day. You're feeling great. And you can't believe how you weren't going to feel this way today. So it's the same here. Your past self is saying you must, in a healthy way, of course, in the healthy way, deprive the body of its pleasures. It wants to just sit around and scroll. You want to give it its time to meditate, for example, because meditation will make you feel so good, and you won't understand how beautiful and how amazing it is until you get into it. And if you ask anyone meditating, they will tell you, oh my God, I can't imagine my life without it. I can't wait to begin it. So all I'm trying to say is that there is pleasure on the other side, and you get to heal as you experience this pleasure. But the doorway here with the Queen of Swords is that discipline to take yourself from one state to another, to cross over to the other side. And it's just a matter of beginning with the Page of Swords. Just begin it. And it would be great with the arms here as well if you can do all of these things at the same time. Maybe you want to plan a couple of days or 4 days or something, I don't know, under the guidance of your doctor to do all of these things. Yes, of course, you go to work and everything, but you fast, you take your time to meditate, you take your time to take care of yourself, do the right things for yourself, and stay away from the things that would usually bring you pleasure. No scrolling. You can, of course, get online if you want information or something, but that's it. And while it might sound crazy listening to that right now, you will also find it to be crazy when you're going through this, how you weren't going to do that, and how amazing and pleasurable and healing it is. The awesome thing about this whole thing is that it will take you so far in your healing journey, and you will start to experience more the feelings of awe and the true feeling. You will start to experience joy in life, especially if you continue to repeat it whenever you can, and you will feel less troubled and in pain and going through life like there's a thorn in your leg that you just have to go through life with it. Instead, you will go through life feeling great. You know, when you get into this feeling great feeling great feeling mode, and everything, the same things in life, they just feel great. A good example of that, like the first time you fall in love with someone you really like, and suddenly you're so in love that all of the things that used to bother you, it doesn't matter anymore. Everything feels good. You look at your spoon and you're like, oh, spoon, I love you. Right? It just feels all so good. Or when you start a new experience in life, and you used to go through something so troublesome, you're out of it, and life is so good all of a sudden. That first day when you come out of all the past troubles and everything is starting to work in your favor, that's another time when we would feel that life is so good. Everything else doesn't matter. Everything that used to bother us will seem so small because you're so grateful. You're basking into the energy of gratitude that nothing matters. You're just feeling good. You look around you suddenly and you feel like everyone's troubled. And in these few moments, you're like, everything is good. Everything is good. So all I'm trying to say is that when you are in a feeling of awe, the same life and everything, with everything that's going on, just feels great. And so your past life self wants to show you that you don't have to go through life suffering at all, because it's mostly your pains and traumas and the things you've gone through that are the reason you're experiencing the bad things with such great magnitude. And when you are in a state of awe, you're able to solve your challenges better. You're able to make better decisions. You're able to enjoy life better. You suddenly feel like you don't have to run after a lot of the things that you were running after thinking that it would bring you happiness, because you're there and you get to focus on what really will improve your life, and so on and so forth. It's a state that your past self is in and wants you to experience it. Your past self is saying, don't break, come, unite, join the union, because it feels so good there. Okay, so now I want to read your significator card. It's important. It is your significator card that you were drawn to after all, for a lot of you. And let's see what the messages is in case I've missed something. Page. I need to check my, yeah, anyways. Or maybe it's just too tiny in this guidebook. Yeah, I think the font is super tiny with the numbers in the guidebook. Right, so page 34, Cherry Laurel. So we're going to look at the poison of this card and the antidote. So the poison. The disempowered Cherry Laurel tries to keep the peace at all costs. Interesting. If someone is upset, they believe it is their personal responsibility to calm things down and make them right. They avoid confrontation and are always the first one to yield, which leads to them being taken advantage of. Their feelings do not appear to matter, getting brushed aside and eclipsed by louder and more aggressive personalities. Cherry Laurel feels as though they are walking on eggshells with someone, which affects their health. So that's an important message. The antidote here is Cherry Laurel has a natural calming energy, which makes them an ideal peacekeeper. So nothing wrong with peacekeeping. A useful skill. However, they constantly misuse this ability by capitulating to a loved one. Oh. They can feel bitterness creeping in because their needs are always being ignored. Cherry Laurel is allowed to speak up and tell others if they feel they are being mistreated, even if this disturbs the peace and causes conflict. In fact, it is sometimes necessary. They say, choose your battles. And in this case, Cherry Laurel must fight. You know, guys, in everything is in duality. Being the person who vibrates peace is a wonderful thing, but you must understand that standing up for yourself and being strong and ruthless even when it's needed is not a bad thing. And you must have the balance between the two, because this is the reality of the world. We must understand that everything has a dual nature, and we must never tilt extremely to the right or extremely to the left. We want to take the best that both worlds have to offer. There's no such thing as yin is bad, yang is good, for example. They both within them offer great wisdom, and you want to take that wisdom without the harm surrounding any of the extremes. So peace, being a peaceful person, a civil person, is a wonderful trait to have, and you want to keep that, but not tilting so much to harming your own self just to keep the peace. And standing up for yourself, saying what you think, and having a strong voice, even if it's going to cause the relationship to end, is a very important trait as well. You don't want to take it to the extreme, however, and be aggressive and get into wars, obviously, with someone, but you do want to stand up for yourself and set these boundaries, even if it's going to cause some inconvenience, maybe even sometimes great inconvenience. You are an important being as well, and you must realize that, and you must act in this way. And so you want to have the balance. If we take a look at the card, you want to have the balance between the two, being this beautiful civil person, but at the same time willing to stand and not be afraid of chaos sometimes. The yin energy, you don't want to be afraid of chaos, and you will marvel at your abilities when you stand in chaos calmly. The opposite, when you stand in chaos calmly, just how much you can channel and how much you can act that will surprise you, and you will never know until you stand in that energy. Don't be afraid of losing, as long as you're not losing yourself. And so you want to bring these two into balance, whether it's in this exact energy in your significator card or something else. I feel like your past self is ending the reading by telling you, the four here are all about staying true to yourself. Be impeccable with your words, especially towards yourself. And whatever is harming you, stay true to yourself and find out how you can balance that. What other side are you not taking into consideration? We will only transcend when we stop saying this person is bad because they act in this way. We are good because we act in this way. We want to take the best out of what we've learned, and even look at the people who we call ruthless or bad and see what things actually are they doing right, because they're getting results. You don't want to take the whole package and be mean and lose your values and all of the other things they're doing. But you can, for example, respect the fact that they stand by their word, that they don't give up, that they're motivated to get their rights. And you don't have to do it in the way that they're doing, but you want to take the element of, I'm going to stay motivated to take my rights. I'm never going to give up. I'm going to find a way to get my rights. I'm going to stand in chaos, just like the other side is very okay with standing in chaos. So there are things to respect, and it's always good to take both, balance them, and grow as a person. So whatever that split here is, you want to look at the other side that you're avoiding. Learn from your shadow, learn from other people's shadow, the strong side, because even the shadow has a strong side that you can always pick up, and you want to pick it up in your essence, with your true authentic self, with how you're vibrating, the good way, but just bring them together, because there's definitely a message of bringing a shadow back, and it has to do with you hating something opposite to what's harming you now. And that's where you need to explore things. That's your message, my dear pile. number 1 from your past life self. I truly hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pal number 1, I must say, your reading was so interesting. I personally have learned a lot. And my dear pile number 1, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. Today, we're taking a look at a message from your past life that's meant to reach you right now. We're going to be taking a look also at how your past life did that. And, let's keep the 2. And how they did that, how they managed to send this message to you now, and as well as why this message was so important for you to receive right now. Can't wait to get into this. I'm so excited. I really enjoyed pile number 1, and I'm really wondering what you guys are going to get. But very quickly, these are the decks that I'll be using in your reading today. If you're interested in knowing the names of any of them, you'll find that I always list them below for you guys. Your crystal is the beautiful Malakite. Your significator card is the Thorn Apple with the keywords embrace your weirdness. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Virgo, Sagittarius, Cancer, as well as Aquarius. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your zodiac signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their pals as well. Okay, so let's get straight into it. And let's take a look at your oracle cards first. So can I start with this one? Yeah, can totally do that. And I'm going to put your Malakite to the side so that the shadow doesn't take away its beautiful shine. Right, so you've got generosity. Very nice. Okay. You've got this card. This is what your first picture looks like. Right? And this is your second card. I'm getting a lot of ideas, to be honest with you. It looks like this intricate process of going from one realm to another or something. This figure does look like Alice, and in the Alice movie, in the second one, she used this machine to go, this time machine. She went into that big place, and it kind of looked like that somehow, to be honest with you. And she went back in time. Maybe your past self, I know it's crazy, and that's just an initial idea. I'm just literally picking up this idea from the movie, since this figure looks like Alice, and that looks like the same place. I could be wrong, just an initial intuitive idea, and there's flying here. So let's see where this takes us. I'm gonna keep it here, and let's explore the rest of your cards. What number is this? 28. Is this 23 or 28? No, I think it's 28 because it's closed up until there. Okay. So you also have learning. So the keywords here are workshop, library, study, school, education, university. What's up with you guys? Your past selves seem to be highly educated. I love this for you guys. If you want to check pile number 1, they had the book also. I don't want to spoil the reading, but if you're drawn to pile number 1, I highly recommend it. And you've got stay in the present moment. On the other side, it says keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. So beautiful. Okay, let's now take a look at your tarot cards. I want to create space for your tarot cards. So I'm going to push your oracle cards just a bit to the side. There we go. And let's explore your, take a look at your tarot cards. So you've got the Nine of Swords. That's the one in reverse, right? So yeah, you've got the Nine of Swords. There we go. You've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. You've got the Fool card. And whatever's in reverse, I'm going to push them down a little bit so that you know that these are in reverse. That's the Fool card, upright. You've got the Page of Cups in reverse. You've got the Six of Wands. Upright. Oh, we've got cards sliding out. There we go. You've got the Eight of Pentacles upright. The King of Cups in reverse. And we've got one more card. We'll take a look at it later. So what is going on here? Embrace your weirdness is your significator card. Embrace your weirdness. And why are they sending you this message? And what is the full message? I think I need to reflect on your cards. Here we can see NA, which in my opinion, intuitively at least, stands for not available. So it's almost like they've gone through the non-time to access a different time. Or I don't know how. They obviously had a lot of knowledge about how to do this. Maybe your past self worked in a library or had access to great knowledge. You know what this reminds me of? Just an intuitive feeling from the Library of Alexandria that had all of the knowledge, everyone passing by from different civilizations, from different places. They would take a copy of the books and consolidated these books in the Library of Alexandria that unfortunately was burned down. As you know, it had so much knowledge in there. Just an intuitive feeling. Perhaps I really feel like your past self could have specifically been in the Library of Alexandria or in another place that was full of knowledge. So not necessarily just an intuitive feeling. So how were they able to access you, and what knowledge do they want to give you? Oh yes, how they were able to access you using this knowledge. Yes, using this knowledge, they were able to maneuver through time to pass this message to you. Perhaps left the message there for you to access it during this time, maybe. Left a message there for you in that bubble of time, space of time. And obviously, if it's meant to reach you, it's going to reach you. We can see that message there. Going from one space to the nothing here, because it stops there, to the other time. For this pile, it looks like you are treated generously. Maybe it's from the point of view of your past self. So whether you agree or not, your past self is showing with the Nine of Pentacles and the Generosity card that in your time right now, you have so many things that people in the past would have dreamed of. But what you can see with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, that maybe you could either be taking advantage of it, misusing it, is what I'm trying to say, or maybe these very amazing things are the very things that are causing you stress. There's mishandling of the generosity that you have today from the point of view of your past self. And the misuse could be forgetting to be grateful for what you have, taking it for granted. Maybe you do have, like, in fact, a rich life. Maybe your life is treating you good. You have a lot of resources. You have a lot of money. Or at least in the point of view of your past self, and you're not treating it in the best way for yourself. I wonder why your past self is highlighting that, and why is that message so important for them to transpass time just to deliver it to you. There's something about them acknowledging Six of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles, the success of your work. So it depends on what you're doing in your life at the moment. If you are working, then your past self is saying that you are in a time where you're really succeeding in your work. You're mastering your work. I just heard in my mind engineer. Someone here could be an engineer, just heard it, but maybe that you are an engineer and this is how you connect with your past self. But it doesn't have to be, just something that I heard. In any case, your past self is saying you're doing a good job. You are, with the Eight of Pentacles, working hard and succeeding. Perhaps you're making good money. And somehow the blessings that you're living in are stressing you. And please know that it's relative. Like, if you feel, oh no, I don't feel like I'm good at my job, but I don't feel like I'm making all this money, then know that it's relative. It's from the point of view of the observer here, from your past self, who today in your life, you're living a life of luxury to them. In any case, getting to the point, if we look at the dice here, or the die, it's about to fall on the 1 here, the bottom, which means that up there is the 6, which means your past self is talking about how you fell or how you gotten into a lucky life. The life you're living in right now seems to be a lucky one, a good one, because it's treating you generously in many ways. In many ways. Maybe because of our time. There are things we do take for granted, like we don't. Most countries, not all, most countries are more or less not in wars. There is more health. We're mostly more healthy, and so on and so forth. So your past self is saying you're living in a generous time, yet you are feeling the most stressed. The Page of Cups is in reverse, which means that creativity is at its minimal, joy and pursuit of joy, like going after what really matters, is at its minimal. And while you are doing great at work, you're forgetting about other essential things in your life. You can see with the King of Cups in reverse, there's a message of, although you should be happy, in reverse here, you are emotionally imbalanced. Maybe you want more. Maybe you're worried about the future or living the past. Or, as your past self has pointed out, you're not really going after the things that will bring joy today. In fact, you have a card that's saying, stay in the present moment. So, I understand how important this message is, of course. I just want to ask, perhaps this will answer. Why is it so important for your past self to send this very important message to you today? I mean, it could have sent it to any other life, maybe because you're doing your best. And if so, like, wouldn't it be better to help another life? Like, I just want to ask, why was it so important for you to hear this today? The world. Ah, no, that makes sense. The world in reverse. You see, the world upright is the completion of a journey. Perhaps this is your lifetime that you can, let's say, use the best to complete your journey in this realm, like the reincarnation, for example, on Earth. It's your opportunity to complete what your soul is looking for. You have the tools, you have what is needed to do that. And with the World card in reverse, it seems like you may be so attached to the earth, so attached to the world, so attached to the very things that could make you happy, and thus you're not experiencing this joy. Okay, so your past self wants to help you. It was that important. It looks like this is the lifetime, the reincarnation, the birth that your past life has realized that you can do the best. Also, you've grown so much and you've gone through a lot. You can live happy in this lifetime and you can transcend. So you have all the tools, everything. Everybody does in every lifetime, but you have it easy from your past life point of view. You can do this. There's something about this lifetime that truly stands out for your past life, that makes them see that it's your great opportunity to heal and grow and transcend. In fact, let's reverse this and keep it upright. So, what your past life self wants you to know today is that the more you stay in the present moment, the more you heal and the more you get to become whole. That means the light and shadow become one. The integration of the light and shadow. And to do that, your biggest guidance, as simple as it is to choose to stay present, to choose to live the present moment, which means enjoy your life, because at the moment you are so focused on your work, which is, don't get me wrong, your past self thinks it's wonderful how you're successful. 6 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, you're doing great with your work or with the goals that you're working towards. That's great. That doesn't mean take that. But you also, with the Fool, Page of Cups, you want to live the now. And also you're living this generous life from their point of view that you're so attached to it that is causing you a lot of stress. And to heal that, you want to look at your life today. You want to start asking yourself questions that you forgot to ask yourself. What do I enjoy in life that I stopped doing? What can I start doing in my life today that I'm not enjoying? Are you saying to yourself things like, when I reach this milestone, I will be happy. When this life happens to me, I will start doing things that I love. I'll be able to travel, I'll be able to go to picnics, I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to pursue my hobbies, this or that. Because that could be a trick with stay in the moment. This is saying there is mismanagement of your present moment. You shouldn't look so far to enjoy things, and you want to focus on thinking about this question today. What are the things that you love in life that you're not indulging in? What are the sort of things you wish to do that you're waiting in the future to do that you can do now? How can you enjoy your life now instead of postponing it for when something happens? That's one of the important messages here, because enjoying your life right now will reverse how you feel emotionally, and it will reverse the stress that you are going through. While with the Nine of Swords, it doesn't, in reverse, it doesn't mean that things might drastically initially change. It just like you won't have anything happen in life, I mean, in that way. That will always be there, but you won't go through life with stress, which is, this one in particular is a similar message to pile number one. If you're drawn to it, you will see it there. This one in particular is the only similar one here. Going through life not stressed. It seemed like people from the past really understood this concept of it's okay, something like it's okay. Don't be so stressed about it. And you do that by continuing to shift your focus on the today. Being okay today constantly, consistently, will reteach your brain that it's okay for things to happen, and you learn how to deal with it, and it doesn't become such a big deal because you've got the tenacity to deal with things very well, and so you will stop over time to be afraid of what could happen. Not to mention that your past self is showing you from their knowledge of time that you're moving towards great success. So why move towards this wonderful success and feel miserable when you can go through it and feel so good? So it's not in the success itself that has any trouble at all. It's in how you live your today life that matters the most and will matter in your future. Your past self is saying, to live a happier today, you must recognize all the generous things that you have today that you forgot are wonderful things. A roof over your head, electricity, your phones, your connections to others, the fact that you can have access to many resources in a much easier way than before. The current blessings that you have in your life. Your past self wants you to remember and acknowledge all of the things that you forget to acknowledge, and realize just how lucky you are, how you're living a wonderful life, and you must enjoy it. What a waste it would be, what a mismanagement if you're not enjoying all of the generous things that the universe is giving to you in this lifetime. You are very lucky in this lifetime that you chose, more than you are realizing right now. So much so that it's giving you the luxury to worry about things that you may not have had the time to worry about before. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's always good to be able to focus on other things and heal them, but it wouldn't be so good if you dwell on them. So, without healing them. So, since we're here, let's now take a look at your significator card and see what the main message is of your significator card. It wants to show you something that your past self, obviously, we opened the book just like your past self wants to show you. So we are number 13. What number is that? 8. Okay. That is number 11, 12, 13. So the thorn apple. We're going to take a look at the poison and the antidote. So, the poison. Thorn apple stands out from the crowd and is very self-conscious about it. Their appearance is unusual in some way, and they tend to dress drably, so they don't draw attention. They have distinctive ideas and ways of dealing with life that others just don't appreciate and often feel misunderstood. They would love to express themselves more creatively through dress and fashion, but are worried they will be ridiculous further. The antidote is thorn apple was never meant to blend in. Their soul purposely chose to be a peacock in this lifetime. Once they embrace this and start expressing themselves fully, then in time they will realize their unique take on life and will bring joy to themselves and others. We are not meant to be carbon copies of each other, all dressing, looking, and thinking the same. Thorn apple was always meant to think outside the box and express themselves with outlandish outfits and ideas. When thorn apple embraces their weirdness, they pave the way for others to also express themselves in beautifully distinctive ways. So there's obviously something about you that is so unique, and perhaps you are finding it a bit troublesome at the moment to blend into society, either with your ideas or with who you are as a person, as a character, your fashion sense, your beliefs, or anything like that. But you are finding your way to being your true authentic self, all while being part of society. And that is that is when you get in touch with that and acknowledge your true authentic self and harmonize with that and live your life from that place. This is when your peacock uniqueness will stand out. This is your amazement coming out, your true flavor, the uniqueness showing, the most amazing and beautiful thing showing up in life. It's like creating a dish. And if we all taste like macaroni and cheese, we will miss out on steak. We will miss out on pineapple pie. I mean apple pie. We will miss out on ice cream. We will miss on a pizza. You get the point. And all the delicious dishes from around the world. So each dish gives the different umami that we experience, different taste, and so are you. And just like the card shows, you are meant to stand out like a peacock. And as long as you are not embracing your true authentic self, that is part of the suffering here. It's like you were given the best ingredients, but you still didn't learn how to cook it because you keep looking on other dishes and you keep cooking these ingredients in the same way the other dishes are cooked. And so they're not coming in their unique, delicious form. So your past self's guidance to you in that area is that it's okay to learn techniques from other dishes, but you always must ask yourself this question: does that resonate with me? Does that resonate with my dish? No, because in my dish, the eggs will cook fast if I do that. And I want it to harmonize with this or that. In my dish, this needs to take longer. In my dish, we would never put these two ingredients together and at the same time, and so on. So it's okay to be inspired by what others around you are doing in this day and age, what's considered normal, what's not considered normal. It's okay to be inspired, because if you're inspired, then it's resonating with you. But never do it from a place that is not authentic to you. So you must match it first. You must see if it's matching. Is that me? No. Can I do it in my flavor? Yes. And you want to start asking yourself these questions. I want to be like this. How can I be like me while embracing all of the things that I like? I don't have to fit in society, even if they're going to give me a label for it. So if society thinks this is weird and you really like it, then here is what you want to heal, not in changing yourself to fit in. You want to start telling yourself things like, well, if people don't like it, first of all, they're not my friends. Second of all, I'm not going to lose me to keep others. So you want to stay true to you and lose others, because this way you will always attract the people who resonate with you, and you will find that there are ample people and there's a huge life out there, and you are closing yourself on a small thing that you think is the biggest. So stay true to yourself. Embrace your weirdness, because it is your delicious dish. It might look weird now. It is, they say trust the process, right? When we're cooking, we're like, what did I do? And then it turns out to be the most delicious dish ever. It's that trick that we do while cooking that makes things delicious. Think of the first person who's tried to bake a cake and what is it called? Whip the eggs, and then it turns into this big cream, and put all of these ingredients together and go like, and someone out there is like, what are you doing? And you're putting it in an oven? That's not how we cook. And then it turns out into cake, and cake is delicious. So you want to trust the process of being okay with being weird until you come out just like a teenager. They're okay with that weird. They have to go through that weird phase to find themselves. And so are you guided to do. Be okay with that weirdness as you're trying to form your dish, who you are. And that involves things like, oh, I'm inspired by this, but this is me. How can I do it in my flavor? Oh, that didn't work. Take your time. Take your time to be you, because you're meant to turn into a peacock dish. A dish that is meant to stand out and for everyone to marvel at, just like a peacock. So take your time to do that is another key element in specific that your past self wants to give to you. They want you to remember all the beautiful things, because if you live in this vibration, which is the most important message. You have two important messages here when it comes to your emotions. Remember to enjoy what you have and to do the things that you love now, not tomorrow, as much as you can. Continue to go on your path to success, but if you enjoy your world today, as well as be okay with the things that are happening in your world at the moment. Try to figure it out, but don't suffer through it. Don't worry about the tomorrow. Live in the present moment is the most important thing. Be grateful for what you have. You're going through great success at the moment that will make you so happy in the future. You won't be able to experience this happiness in the future if you don't do this homework today. Because it's not going to happen in the future if you don't learn to make it happen right now. Don't postpone your happiness. And most importantly, take your time to be you. It's okay as you go through this weird time. You're not failing. Teenagers are not failing. They're going through this transformational time, and so are you. Embrace that weirdness until you find yourself fully. Express yourself in the best way that resonates with you. Living in your true, authentic self is the way that leads to manifestation. And you're going there. You're going towards great manifestation. You're doing a great job. Your past self is showing in terms of achieving your dreams. Your past self is so proud of you there. And my dear pile number 2, you are a pile that is so ready to live the world in this lifetime, but to transcend it at the same time. And that, my dear pile number 2, is exactly what I see in your reading as your message from your past self that is meant to reach you right now, sent to you with love. And if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 2, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at a message from your past life. Looks like we've got 2 cards here that is meant to reach you right now. And so we're also going to explore how your past self managed to send this message to you. And another thing we're going to be exploring is, why is that message so important for them to send to you right now? So this is the intention of today's reading. If you are interested in knowing the names of any of the decks that I use, you'll always find that I list them below for you guys. But very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the beautiful green moss agate in the shape of a star. Your significator card is the cannabis card with the keyword the healer. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Leo, Capricorn, Taurus, and Gemini. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their piles as well. Okay, so let's get straight into it. We'll take a look at your oracle cards first to uncover your message. I feel drawn to this one. I'm going to check this picture first. So this is what your picture looks like. It's the number 15. Can I place it here? Actually, we can. If I place this up there, we'll definitely have space here. Okay, you've got this card. It says, let go of self-judgment and blame. On the other side, it says, being impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself for anything. Beautiful. Okay. You've got simplicity. That's a form of power. It's a deck all about forms of power. You've got precision. That's another form of power. And finally, you've got the Enneagram lie. And the other keywords are manipulation, cunning, secret, deceit, trickery, as well as imposture. Right. Let's now take a look. Can I place it here? Yeah, we can place it. And I think this gap between the self and whatever it is, anything wrong, it's under the category of sin, or maybe you could be lying to yourself, about something in your life, or maybe not at all. But there's something about separate the wrongdoing from the self. Okay, like that's one thing and that's totally another. Who you are is not what you do. Right. You can always change your actions. You can always become better. You can always do something wrong. That's just part of life, but never label yourself as such. Right, so let's take a look at your tarot cards. You've got the Ace of Wands. Can I place it here? Yeah, totally. We've got space up there. That's great. Right, so you've got the Ace of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, okay. Oh, I get it. Okay, Ten of Cups. I'll tell you my trail of thoughts now and what I've seen. You've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Wands. Oh, it's finished, but I did pull out that card, so we're going to take it to the Nine of Swords. You know what I picked up? First of all, I was like imagining your past self staring at water, which we can use water spiritually. It's a very strong medium. You can even use it in manifestation. You can use it in many things, especially the pure form, like running water and lakes. So I was envisioning, look, your past self looking at water and somehow was able to get in touch with you. I was like, okay, that's respectfully and weird. To my knowledge, I don't know much, but could be, you know. I was like, oh, just be open-minded with the reading. And then this took me to cannabis, which makes me understand that through certain plants that you take, you get to open up spiritually, and you do get to see things that happened in your past life, right? And you get to have these dreams, and you get to do all sorts of things. Things like, for example, ayahuasca and such. It looks like your past self was able, and the question of how were they able to send this message to you, it looks like they've used a spiritual plant. They've gone through, with the Two of Swords, through a spiritual Ace of Wands, Two of Swords. They've gone through, see, Three of Pentacles is working with something, right? So they worked with energy through a spiritual plant and meditation, something like that, to be able to get in touch with you. We'll see why they chose you specifically in this life. They could have chosen any other life, and why this message, whatever message that they're giving you, is so important. But at least the first thing and how they're able to reach you was through this spiritual experience. And with precision here, they were so precise about wanting to send this message particularly to you. So this is not just like, hey, this looks good, let's send the message here. There's a particular reason why they wanted to talk to you about this life. You can see here with the Nine of Swords. So, through an experience. And if you're wondering, like, how they were planning to convey it to you, this sacred geometry kind of makes me feel like everything is energy. You put your intention, and how it manifests in the 3D is not what they were focused on. It's like they put their intention right there, and through and right now I'm about to say things that may not be accurate at all, but I'm just opening your imagination to what I'm intuitively picking up, like using black hole, and the black hole takes its path to sending this message, whether it's through a tarot reading or through this or through that. It doesn't matter exactly the medium, but they put this message through the sacred geometry here. They did it energetically, and it's meant to reach you, is all I'm trying to say. However you're hearing it is how it's meant to reach you. And if you weren't going to click on this tarot reading, you were going to get this message undoubtedly, one way or the other, because it was meant to be sent to you. Okay, so I don't know why the patterns of the spider and the water really remind me of scribing, and I don't know why we're getting this now, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it one part by one part. But that is the first thing I'm seeing. Second thing, your message now, and why it was so important. There's something about your childhood and your family and how you feel right now. And its effect on a new beginning with a love relationship or a successful, the Six of Wands, specifically here, successful love relationship, successful, informing successful love. That's the chosen message here. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, your success in either relationships in general or specifically in love relationships and forming a future family. And how you can change that destiny, because as long as you are feeling a specific way, especially about yourself, it is going to, you will still find a wonderful love. That is something it's showing you as it is going through this journey of watching all lives. There is, by the way, for this pile, something about a new relationship, or if you're already married, a new beginning with a loved one, a new opportunity for successful love. Because at the end of the day, this is not the marriage card. This is the Six of Wands. This talks about success. So however it resonates with you, there is a new opportunity when it comes to success in your love relationships that is currently clouded by how you feel today, particularly about how you feel about yourself. And they want you to see something that you're currently refusing not to see about yourself. Because here, you've got the eyes blinded with this piece of flying cloth, fabric, and here the eyes are closed. The lie is looking at the self. It's judging the self, when really it's not the self that should be blamed. The self can make mistakes. It's part of life. We didn't come here to be perfect. And so never let your mistakes stare at you and make you, give you a tag. It's okay to make mistakes. It's more important to learn from them. But most importantly, most importantly, one should not blame themselves ever for it. One should only learn from them, and that's the true wisdom of going through life. So they want you to know that the soul is fluid, just like water. It takes the form of the container or the body and the life it gets into. The water is pure. The container might not be perfect. The container can sometimes be or become contaminated, but water is water. It will evaporate and then it will condense and precipitate. It's always going to be water, all I'm trying to say. So the soul and the self and who you really are should not be labeled, because sometimes we make mistakes out of a specific shock or a trauma or something we've learned in our environment, this or that or the other. It's never the self. And so be okay, in fact, with making mistakes. Don't get into the shame. But the most important thing is to watch the pattern and realize, hey, I've noticed that this has been happening several times. I wonder what's the root cause of it and how can I be patient in focusing on healing this particular thing. But never go back to the self, because it will hinder your path and it's not the truth. If a cup is green, you can't say, ooh, the water is green, it must be moldy. You must not blame the water. You must continue to cleanse it. And at the same time, learn to love the container, for it is the container that is currently holding this this holy water, or this spirit. It's giving it a home, hosting it. So, with trickery, imposture, it looks to me like you're still trying to learn something. You're still trying to figure something out. Maybe you're trying to figure out who you are in a specific area of your life. And because you haven't figured it out yet, you could be living a, what is it called? Imposter syndrome? Is imposter syndrome? Like maybe you feel like you're trying to play something that you're not, and you don't yet know who you are. You're yet to figure it out, figure the pattern out, and you're still in the workings of it with the precision card. You're building it. And your soul knows how to build it. It's the energy of creation with the Ace of Wands. Don't interrupt this creation process through blame, through shame, embarrassment, or feeling like you don't deserve something, or this imposter syndrome. Healing is currently happening. In fact, the healer is your significator card. Healing just takes time. If you give space, or what's the word? Contain or remove the very things that continue to contaminate this healing process, it will continue to hinder it. So the only thing you're guided to do to reach this, your full phase of blossoming and full confidence, and absolutely blossoming as a person, and finally heal this pain, which may have been something that happened in childhood, because there is reference to family. Maybe with the Ten of Cups, you had a beautiful family, but something happened, or maybe it's just talking about family and something happened during your childhood, perhaps. In any case, I'm seeing that your guidance is through this healing journey that your past self can see and is going through. And I don't know specifically why they chose you. I will ask that in a moment. But they're very focused on this life, on yours. And they want to show you that through the magic that they're looking at now, the energy, and they're looking at things from a bird's eye view. They can see things clearly. And they can see that your healing is something that naturally happens, or is naturally happening for you, but you just must refuse to label yourself as anything. It's okay to make mistakes. Like if you don't do things right, you must say things to yourself like, that's okay, I'm learning. Never touch the self. The self is in the phase of healing now. So I didn't get it right that time. Fine, what do I need to learn? Great, move on. So don't be afraid to, there's something about being impeccable with your word. So being impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself for anything. So you take responsibility, right? This didn't go right this time. I did this wrong. I didn't do it in the best way. Next time, I'm going to make sure I learn this. I may not do it perfectly again, but I'm definitely on the path of learning. So you need to, that's how you keep a space between you and the label at all times, because that is the healing that is currently going on. And your past self is showing you what you're not seeing is something about your future. You're meant to have a happy family, live a very happy life with the Ten of Cups. You have the potential. Maybe that's why they want to show you. It's kind of like maybe they're looking at all lives and trying to give them the key, perhaps, to what they're not seeing. Maybe that's what your past life is doing in this let's call it ayahuasca journey that they're currently in, maybe helping out here and there because they can see it through it all. Maybe they're helping 3 lives with the 3 of Pentacles here, and you are one of them. And yeah, so that's what's going on. And in your life, Ace of Pentacles, one of the lives that they're working on right now as you're listening to the reading, they just want to give you the key. You don't have to do a whole lot here. You just want to step aside from your mistakes so that it doesn't contaminate your healing process. Don't get into self-judgment or blame or shame or embarrassment or frustration with why you're not doing things right. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. You're going to get the hang out of things. Take your time. Don't let these thoughts come near you because they can manipulate this healing process. They can manipulate your thoughts. They are very tricky. If you continue to dwell on them, you just want to learn and not dwell on these thoughts again. You must keep space between the two. And in fact, let's take a look at your significator card here, the cannabis, what it says, so that we get a more accurate reading. Number 15. It is your significator card after all. So we've got the poison and the antidote. And the poison here is the disempowered cannabis is easily overwhelmed and suspicious of everyone, the mindset of which is partly because they have a habit of playing the victim. They are stuck in childhood wounds. Yeah, there's something about childhood here. And tend to overreact to many things, citing a painful past. Tend to overact many things, citing a painful past. Prone to self-pity and asking, why me? Cannabis believes the world owes them a living. They give their power away by too often identifying with their human ego. That's what we're seeing here. Ego, sin, ego level. The identifying with their human ego and forget that they are limitless, shining spirits. Exactly. Wow, how the cards connect is really magical. So the antidote. Cannabis has the potential to become a powerful healer once they have completed their shadow work. Wow. But for now, they are stuck in habitual responses like a recording on repeat. Habitual responses like a recording on repeat. They can do the following things with intention, which will start the healing process. Shine a light on all the yucky stuff, such as the shadows, so they may be brought to the surface to be healed. Yeah, it's okay to say so. Yeah, it's like, don't be afraid to say you've done something wrong. That doesn't mean that you are wrong. It just means that this behavior needs attention so that it's adjusted. And it has nothing to do with who you are as a person. In fact, the fact that you want to see it makes you an amazing person. So that they can be brought to the surface to be healed. Stop defining themselves with their past. Yeah. And release the wounds from childhood. And understand that they and they alone are responsible for their life. These processes will release cannabis from feeling overwhelmed and usher them into a new way of being as a healer. So what I understand here as well is that you want to let go, not just of the mistakes that you do now. I understand better. You want to let go of the patterns that you go through, just like a record, a repeating record that initiated from an experience from the past. So you want to stop dealing with situations from a place of, for example, with the Nine of Swords, stress, from a place of anxiousness, from a place of victimhood, from a place of extreme sadness. You want to catch these patterns and notice when you're not feeling stable. And you want to notice that it's a pattern that has been repeated in your life, as your reading is showing, over and over and over. And once you notice these patterns, you'll be able to catch them yourself getting into them. And detach yourself again from them. Realize that these are patterns from childhood, from an experience, and they're not your own way of behaving. And once you realize that, you'll be able to push them away. Keep a distance. You'll be able to notice, yeah, I tend to do this when that happens, but I'm choosing this time not to indulge in it. And so the more you distance yourselves from the very things that you don't like maybe about yourself, you have the freedom to choose to be even better all the time. Again, no labels, right? That's the freedom of no labels. You get to choose how you behave. You get to recognize how there's something that you don't like about how you're behaving now, not about yourself, about how you're behaving now. And you get to change that. You get to change these patterns. Because in this way, when you keep removing yourself from repeated patterns, from labels, from shame, from embarrassment, they say embarrassment is a choice. You don't have to feel embarrassment. The first hit may not be by choice, but then anything after that moment is a choice. You get to center yourself, not engage with whatever feeling this is, from whatever pattern this is, and you get to be calm. Water also for you is your best friend. Water helps the process of cleansing in this pile. So whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, your past self is showing you, as they're learning now, water seems to be your element somehow, or a great element for you. I have heard Matthias di Stefano talk one of the times about how in ancient times they've understood that people were of different elements. Like there are people who are more fire elements, there are people who are more water elements, and it doesn't have to do with the zodiac signs, as far as I understand. I may be misquoting this incorrectly, but perhaps this is why, I'm just imagining, stretching my mind, maybe this is why water is specifically for this pile very healing for you. So you might want to indulge in a shower if you're not feeling so good. Maybe go for a swim if you can, whenever you can. Maybe you want to keep water around you, healing water. Placing water in crystals is really, really good. It helps in the cleansing vibration. You might want to do that. Whatever really resonates with you, you might want to make sure you're hydrated, and so on. Wash your face to refresh yourself, hands and face, and so on. Water is your element of healing, one of your biggest elements of healing. As well as patterns, you might want to also consider vibrational sound healing. Anything that has like healing through frequency. What I think about healing through frequency, I personally think about sound, but maybe it's through something else that I'm just not picking up in the reading, and you can pick it up. All I can say with the work that you're currently doing, as they look at your life and study it, they're giving you these tools, and they just want you to know, aside from breaking patterns from childhood and past, not repeating, not identifying with the ego mistakes, everything that we've discussed, you also want to use the element of water specifically for you, and healing vibrations, right? They will really help you out in this pile. You specifically. And you are really very near to blossoming. Your past self is showing you. You are meant to be something beautiful, your full blossom self. And you will think very highly of yourself. And you will be seen as so high, so elevated. And I wanted to say something now. And you're so near that. So just take the time to do these simple things. It's the simplest way they can show you to go through the healing process, because you're around the corner for you. There seems to be something about a happy family and a new beginning in successful love. And you want to heal that because you don't want your childhood and the pains that you're currently going through to affect that, because you can't see how it is affecting everything else. Yeah, overall, you have a message of breaking patterns. And although you can't see how close you are to your happiness and how close you are to healing this, your past self is showing you that your new page is very near. If you decide to work with these tools, you may not be able to see your healing progress and measure it, but you will one day go from trying to figure it out to waking up the next day, boom, I feel great. It's working. It's just like healing, you know. You don't know what's going under there as this shell is created, and then suddenly you wake up, oh, it's healed, it happened. And just like that, you're healing a lot as you do these things. You may not always see it, but you're always healing. If you're not hurting yourself, then you're automatically in the healing process. And so you may not be seeing just how significantly you are, but have the faith, how significantly you are healing, but have the faith with the Two of Swords. It's a card of faith. You might not be seeing it, but have faith, because boom, out of nowhere, one day soon, you're going to wake up and you're going to feel your best. And you're just not gonna know how it happened, but that's the magic of healing. And so just trust the process, is what your past self is saying. They're watching you right now as they're going through their ayahuasca experience. They're saying you're so close to blossoming. And just trust the key advice. If you want to listen to this reading again and take the key points, focus on these things these days, and you are near healing. You have no idea. You're about to live a very happy life. And I love this for you, my dear pile number 3. Yeah, so this is exactly what I see, and I truly hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 3, I'll catch you in the next reading.